do have the book. I do have the book. Oh my god, and it's our birthday. Okay, awesome. Right, okay. Here we go. Embark Beach. Shit, wrong place. No, not here. Not here. Bum, 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 bum. Why are the loading screens so long? There we go. Embark Beach. Hello, and welcome to QI. No, hello, welcome back to another video, guys. We're at Embark Beach, so I'm doing the first episode right now of my big long backlog of episodes of extra things that I kind of want to do. Most of it, I'm not going to lie, is blog posts that I'm going to be kind of working on over this week before I start my new job, so that in case the commutes are super long, I'll have stuff to upload. So I don't know when this is going to go out. But we're back on the main account. We're back on the main kind of characters here. Well, no, Tom Bluid is a main character, sorry. But we're back on Matt Greenspring anyway. Two things I've been saying recently I kind of want to do. Two of these random little ideas I've been talking about in the Let's Play that I wanted to get out of the way with, but I didn't know when to do them. One was have a bit of a tour of Embark Beach and that huge-ass ship over there. And two was read the dungeon book. So probably not the most thrilling of episodes, but hey, look, this is something I've said I wanted to be doing. And in the name of completionism, if that's a word, we're going to be doing it. So... also, I just noticed, it's our birthday. It's Matt Greenspring's first birthday. Probably not today, obviously. That would be quite the coincidence. I don't know when his first birthday was, but we started Nightfall a year ago. That seems so crazy to me because... like, Nightfall took quite a long... well, I guess we spent so long in Eye of the North, because if I kind of map out all the stuff we've done on the channel, it's very easy to simplify it and think, right, we did Nightfall, then we did Eye of the North, and now we're where we are today. Of course, we're thinking about it a bit closer. We have done a lot of other stuff, you know, especially non-Guild Wars stuff, and if you consider things like the Underworld series, the PvP stuff. We have... I can't believe it, though. A year, really? It's a bit weird. I always considered Nightfall to be sort of recent memory, but I suppose not. I mean, Jesus, a year ago when this place was added as well, that means. Don't forget we started Nightfall when Embark Beach, when the 7 heroes went live, when all of that was added. So yeah, God, it's so weird to think of it that way. But anyway, let's open it up. Let's stop not dilly-dally. We got a Char Shaman. We got a purple. Wow. Okay, very cool. So we got a Char Shaman with us. And I guess I'll read... should we read the dungeon stuff first and bore you guys that don't care about that? Or no, I'm going to bore you who don't care about that. And then we'll have a tour of Embark Beach, which hopefully should be quite fun. I've literally done no research, so this is just my memory of wandering around it when it first came out a year ago. So, hey, we'll see how it goes. Anyway, so yeah, the dungeon guide. When we did the dungeon series, we read up to like Ula's lab, didn't we? And then these last ones kind of just got all piled together because I forgot one episode, and then we did some stuff off screen and blah, 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 blah. So, Arachne's Horn, I do believe we actually ended up reading in the series. So, let me just check here. Yeah, we did, because we were talking about Arachne. So then there was the next one was Slave... oh, wait, what? Slaver's Exile next? Really? Let me have a look here. Page 1. Yeah, next was Slaver's Exile. This appears next in the book, funnily enough. This is actually the last one we did. It's kind of weird that that page is the one that appears last in. But yeah, this is the one that was only unlocked after you completed Eye of the North. And this was the last thing. This was what we ended the dungeon series on. And this was kind of the super elite, super hard one that took us like 8 episodes to do. Not that much information here, sadly, considering it was such an important dungeon from a gameplay perspective. I guess not so much from a lore one, except that there were lots of various factions in there. It simply says that filled with refugees from abroad, Slaver's Exile is a dangerous place indeed. The death of the Great Destroyer left a power vacuum, prompting a Stone Summit Hierophant to step forward in the hopes of taking control. A group of short-sighted Norn anxiously await the inevitable conflict to satisfy their bloodlust. See, this is weird as well. It's like it's written as if we haven't completed the dungeon yet. Very odd there. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on there. I'm still a bit confused about this whole idea of the power vacuum with the Great Destroyer. What is he trying to actually take the power that an Elder Dragon champion left behind? How does that work? Mind you, he is a dwarf. He is one of the ancient races. The dwarves knew a lot about the Elder Dragon, so hey, maybe they had some magic or some rituals that would allow them to do that kind of thing. And in fact, we saw he was a very powerful ritualist at the very least of things. The next page is Fronius Irontoe's Lair. We saw this in the Let's Play. I think I read no, I don't actually think we read the page out, so we can here. This was the solo mission where you got the brawling skills. There will be more brawling skills coming up, by the way. You might have already seen it, actually. Some of the side quests in Winds of Change, depending on when this video goes up, do have brawling skills and stuff in them, so we will kind of be getting a little bit more experience of this kind of stuff very soon. But this page simply says that this is the lair of Fronius Irontoe, Stone Summit Dwarf Leader and brother to unlucky gambler Gulnar Irontoe. Kilroy's Stonekin tried unsuccessfully and repeatedly to extract Gulnar's debt from his coin purse, leaving a bruised and bloody mess behind. Distraught and penniless, Stonekin headed toward the Great North to track down Fronis and his owed fortune. So that kind of goes back into Sorrow's Furnace stuff a little bit there. I miss this kind of stuff, these plots with the dwarves. Another thing I actually regret not doing so much of is I never showed you the little mini missions you could do with Kilroy out in some of the explorable areas in the far Shiverpeaks. They were really, really awesome, but I never really showed you many of those. Any of them, alright? So, but yeah, there you go. That's the next one was the secret lair of the Snowmen. Very, very awesome mission. We ended up struggling quite a lot on this one, even though it's a very easy dungeon, but never mind. Home to Frisian, a snowmen cadre, the secret lair is a less than pleasant place. Its inhabitants live inside this cavern, awaiting the arrival of Winter's Day, when Dwayne calls upon them to bring joy, snowballs, and presents to everyone, and death to the Grenches. The dwarf king Hundar, a rather famous ale brewer and former leader of Delgemore, stumbled upon this location years ago, never to be seen again, and of course we found him dead in there. He had his recipe for some great alcohol though, which I believe our dwarf friend actually liked in the end, so it was a very, very cool little dungeon there. That was one of the last ones we did. Heart of the Shiverpeaks. Of course, this was actually a part of the main storyline, so I did it off screen when we did this, but there is indeed a page for it in the dungeon guide. The Heart of the Shiverpeaks, sealed long ago by the Black Powder clan, holds many ancient dwarven secrets. Its innermost reaches are guarded by a great fireworm, Cinder, the Mountain Heart. Yeah, very, very cool boss. And then when you go back in there, actually, there was that ooze thing there that explodes into those little pieces that I showed you. Cinder isn't the only Mountain Heart, of course. Back in Prophecies, there was another Mountain Heart, another giant worm, that could actually appear in multiple explorable areas, and it was a bit random whether you'd find it very interesting. They never really elaborate on the storyline or if there's any lore there connecting the two worms, except for the name, but it's cool anyway. And that's the last page, funnily enough. I don't know why they order it like that. As I said, I don't know why they didn't end it on Slavers Exile. You can trade this in. It's a bit late now, but if you did play the dungeon series with me, you can trade this bad boy in for a lot of reputation from your chosen race and lots of gold and experience as well, if that's up your alley. So yeah, it is worth getting these things. These are one of the best ways to pump up your reputation titles. By the end, what did we actually have for Delgemore? That's the reason I'm on map, by the way, because we did it all in here. We became a daring delver just for completing all that stuff, which isn't bad actually. Rank 6 pretty damn good, and that's not even trading in the book. Well, that means we'll probably be like rank 7 if we did trade it in. So yeah. Right, yeah, this outpost. Right, what should we talk about? I've not got a plan for this. I just kind of jumped on. We got lots of different NPCs, and because Embark Beach was added in one of the most recent updates, Only the Winds of Change stuff is newer than it. It's got the opportunity to draw from all different lore from all around the place. There's some interesting weird things going on here. I'm just going to wander around and see who we find. So the first one is this guy called Kanye the Bold, who's a Norn, who says, "Ha! Now this is a place that suits me well. Just look around you at all of these heroes, those who are great and those who aspire to be. All of them rushing off to find glory, to perform deeds worthy of song. Just thinking about it gets my blood boiling with excitement and makes my heart roar out like a tempest. There are so many opportunities here for me to further my legend. Speaking of which, have I told you how great I am? You may wish to make yourself comfortable. The entirety of my tale takes 62 days to tell, and I don't expect a little human such as yourself to be able to stand through it all. Wait, where are you going? Don't you wish to be amazed how impressive I am?" No, not really. Okay, so I think it's a little bit disappointing here in some of the I'm not sure how many people have dialogue like that, but obviously a lot of this is assuming that this place was supposed to be added as an area for all the different players to come and group up for Zacian bounties and all kinds of stuff like that, which is why, as you can see here, the Zacian signpost area and all kinds of stuff, and you can get access to anywhere else in the world. This was the whole idea. You could do all your grouping up from here. It'd be one central hub. It never really worked out though. I always thought, which was a damn shame, I always thought that they should add some kind of extra reward or incentive for groups that managed to pick up groups here at this location, but they never did, and I don't know, it never took off. It's a shame. Kamadan is still the place to go if you want to see a lot of players in this game. There are a few more around here than I would have expected, but you never see, like, all chat is on here, see, but nobody's talking. It's like I say, it's a bit of a shame. Anyway, there are lots of material traders and stuff. We will find various NPCs that offer travel. These are the people that offer the practical way to get to any area you want. If you've been there through the PvE world, if you've already unlocked the outpost, they will take you to it in any of these locations. She describes Cantha as an exotic land, and its great beauty is matched by the greatest dangers that lurk there. It's a land that calls out for heroes. Will you be the one to answer? And you can say all these different areas like this. There's not much lore that these guys have to offer, but that's kind of the mechanics of how this works. And there are essentially four camps, sorry, one for each of the areas, and then one for Eye of the North as well. And that's kind of where you go go to the respective NPC. Really, there's no point to come to this area. A big benefit, obviously, of this area is, say I've got a team full of all 8 heroes and I want to go to Lion's Arch. That's a 6-man area, so it's going to kick your heroes out. This place offers a quite nice place so that you can always have your 8-man team all the time without having to sort of kick or re-add heroes all over the place. Or indeed, if you're playing with humans, kick or re-add people, which is really far, far worse. But there's that camp. I don't think there was anyone else to speak to here. Most of these people just offer services and stuff. It's quite well laid out. It really is. A little bit of history about the outpost itself. I'm sure I've mentioned this at some point in the Let's Play. This was actually, a long time ago, ArenaNet were going to add an auction house to Guild Wars 1. They had lots of features like this. When Factions was first coming out, they were going to add guild vaults and storage and stuff, which is obviously all there in Guild Wars 2, but it never really manifested for Guild Wars 1. However, at one point, I'm not sure exactly when in Guild Wars' lifespan it happened, they were thinking of adding a kind of an auction house place, and that involved this explorable area here. This actual outpost was all developed a long time ago. ArenaNet created it a while ago, and this was going to be like an extra outpost in the Battle Isles as it is today, but its function wasn't what the Embark Beach function is. It was going to provide a place for players to trade and access this auction house, I suppose. It was called something Beach, I think it was just like Junilai Beach or something like that. I can't remember anymore, but this is kind of the history of all this stuff we're walking around. This was developed a long time ago, and people could go into the guildwars.dat and dive around and find all the interesting little things that were going on there, but it never like finished. I guess there were some server problems. As I said recently in the Let's Play, they've been adding a lot of new features and things to the game lately, and dropping support for Windows 95. Maybe it's because they weren't willing to drop support for the older operating systems back then, or various other issues with funding that just never meant it would happen in Guild Wars 1, and to this day it's not in Guild Wars 1, but at least we can come to this outpost, which I think is good, because it was a damn shame that it was missing from before. Right, so we got, I'm sure there's loads of trivia and stuff about these people's names. Quat, and these people, as you can see here, offer consumables. These are, before Embark Beach came out, you'd have to go to all of the individual outposts all around Eye of the North, and you'd have to keep zoning. It would be a massive pain in the arse. Well, here you've got access to all the different consumables you could possibly want, which is really, really cool. I don't think they have any dialogue to explain why they're here, like this stone dwarf, for instance.
My friend.
No, see, that's a bit of a shame. But all the different races are here, and they will offer you the consumables, and you've got all the traders in very, very short distance as well. There you go, like right, those guys right there, which you can go to if you're short. So it's just very, very convenient. This place, really, I think if you could use one word to describe this place, convenience would be that word. Here's something interesting that I've talked about a little bit on the Let's Play before. This guy's called Magiket, or Magiket, or however you want to say it. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Magi. These are the guys with like the polka dot boxes. You can't quite see him though. But it's interesting to me that ArenaNet added NPCs in. Obviously, they added NPCs a year ago, and they were having to name them all. And the idea of this clan of Magis, these similarly named NPCs that exist throughout prophecies and all different areas of the game, were still in ArenaNet's mind when they added Embark Beach. So they are still considering this to be some kind of a faction within the world. We don't know anything about the faction except that there are a lot of NPCs with names like this. What could it mean? I don't know. I mean, and they always use the same old man model. Is there some kind of story there we'll find in Guild Wars 2? My gut tells me no, but it's cool that this guy at least is following a convention that had been set in the game from a long time ago. That was something I noticed when I first came here and was kind of exploring around. So this guy here, Nagi, she offers northern travel. She says, the Northlands are untamed, lands where you would go, where you would as soon find death as you would find glory. Only the most stalwart of adventurers dare challenge them. Are you brave enough? So this is the Eye of the North area. Something interesting about a couple of these NPCs' names. She's called Nagi. I think there's a person up there called Igan, so it's like her name in reverse. They do that with a few NPCs around here. Like, they've got one name in one situation, and then they've got a different one somewhere else. It could be this guy here, Kenai, I'm not sure. But Kenai, of course, offers Tyrian travel. That means that there are only 3 camps. Okay. But this guy says, Taria is a land beset on by foes on all sides. A land that desperately needs heroes. Is that a reference to maybe the coastlines we haven't been able to see of Tyria, I wonder? I can take you to the places you are needed most if you're brave enough to face what lies ahead. And, of course, Prophecies is huge, so you get loads of options there. Pretty cool. Now, here's really the most interesting stuff over here. Lots of NPCs over on this boat and around here. For example, this first person here, Wook, who says, how typical of humans. You have to band together in order to overcome things. Please! You know how I deal with my problems? With a solid, unforgiving golem boot to the head. Brilliant. Okay, so you're still banding together with your golems. He sounds almost quite Norn there with that mentality until he starts mentioning his golem. What else have we got? We've got more Zaishan bounties. They're all over the place. It's all for your convenience. You've got some guys here which will obviously trade your... Why is this guy called... Oh, no, Zaishan Challenge, I see. So these guys will trade your copper rewards and stuff like this, whatever, coins things you've got from completing the Zaician missions. I really should do a Zaician mission at some point. There's another guy here who's got some dialogue for us. Rabiarte G, who is a Canthan. So this is quite cool what they did here. Don't forget, this came out before Winds of Change, but after the Hearts of the North, I believe. I believe Hearts of the North had already finished at this point. So they were kind of hinting, it seemed, at some Winds of Change stuff, or at least we thought they might have been. This isn't as recent as the PvP update that added all that stuff about the envoys. It's just a bit before that, I believe. But there did seem to be some seeds sown here, which in the end weren't actually referenced by Winds of Change at all. But here we go. So Ra says, welcome traveller to Embark Beach. It's almost as if when you zone here, you should zone next to him. The Zaician Order has long watched over Tyria, seeking to protect it from the demonic forces that threaten to annihilate us all. Yes, they have. Remember all that stuff about the Tomb of the Primeval Kings and Nightfall? Very cool. But evil plagues this world, more than we alone can handle. These staging grounds were created to bring people together, that we may share in their challenges and work together for the common good. This is the only way that we will overcome the perils that we face, very much like the Guild Wars 2 theme, if you see here. It's a fool's errand to face the trials of this world alone. May you find trustworthy companions to stand at your side here. Okay, brilliant. So you can come onto the boat, and there's some interesting characters over here on the right. These guys, sworn to earth, seas, winds, fire. Don't forget, we've got some ministries in Cantha, the ministry of these elements here. I can't remember, are these guys specifically affiliated with them or not? Hold on, we may have to read first. So Sierra first, and Fielin, and so on. So here's Sierra, says, if you're looking for the leader of our group, then you're talking to the right person. Ah, right, okay, nice to meet you. When we received word of what the Zaician were doing here, we decided to return from our expedition into the lands far west of the Crystal Desert. I guess you could say that I've travelled enough to have a sense of perspective, and I realise the importance of this venture. They say nothing about the lore here. They say nothing about it. They just say, oh, I've been there. But just confirmation that as recently as this, just a year ago, that ArenaNet is still thinking about the lands beyond that which we have seen is so exciting to me. I love it. It's brilliant. I realise the importance of this venture. There are terrible things in this world, my friend, and I don't mean the kind of wrong that one person may do to another. I mean evil in the truest sense, the kind that threatens us all. People need to stand together to aid another in their battles. I can't help but get the feeling there are terrible things to come. We need to foster this sense of unity now so that we can face the future prepared. Is she talking about the Elder Dragons, or is she talking about some of this other weird stuff, like the Madness Court bringing back Mad King Thorn and all the fluxes that are going on, in particular around this area, around the Battle Isles? Is she talking about that? Is she talking about some of these weird things that the gods were talking about this latest Winter's Day and the Winter's Day before that? Is she talking about that? Who knows? Who knows? But I just wish we could actually, if there was ever an NPC in this game that you said to me, right, I'm going to give you the ability to ask this NPC one additional question, I'd probably say her. Actually, I'd probably say, and it would be something like, alright, talk to me about the lands west of the Crystal Desert and see what she has to say. Because, like, those lands, we're talking west of Crystal Desert. We know that west of the Crystal Desert, and very far north as well, is where one of the Char legions is, that there's Char living there. But aside from that, we don't know anything about that side. But yeah, very interesting. So, actually, I'm thinking about east. What the hell? West of the Crystal Desert. That's the Fire Island chain. Or is she talking about way past the Fire Island chain too? See, that's even more interesting. I guess you could say that we've been to the lands far west of the Crystal Desert, but I'd like to think maybe it's somewhere else. Anyway, sorry, we spent too long talking to her. We've got Philin, Sworn to the Winds, who says, this world is so vast that at times I have to step back and marvel at it. Our missions, which have taken us from the din of the densest cities to the silence of the unexplored, have painted sights I've never would have imagined. Can I please join you guys, please? I've met people as colourful as any work of art. This is a feeling I will never tire of, and I take comfort in the knowledge that there is always something new along the horizon. I like the idea that these are like an adventuring band, but also based out of Cantha, which kind of hints that maybe they've explored some of the lands around Cantha that we haven't seen as well, because those are naturally closer. Take a look around you at how many different people have passed through this place, all from different corners of Tyria. Do you ever stop to imagine the paths that led them to this place, the same spot where you and I are standing? It's kind of humbling when you think about it. Yeah, I think it probably is. Thank you very much, Phelan. Maurice, Sworn to the Sea, says, ever since the Asura came to the surface, their gates have been in high demand for those seeking to travel. I won't deny the allure of instantaneous travel, but I feel sorry for future generations. Can you imagine never experiencing the sting of the salt air, the feeling of the wind coursing through your hair? I like how what she's scared that people will miss out on is in reference to what you'd experience when you're at sea as well. Those kind of little things that really show that ArenaNet have kind of got into the heads of these seemingly insignificant NPCs that have just got this very basic story of being on a ship. Part of the joy of any journey is the getting there, and I very much agree with that. I think that is why I can feel so at ease here. The spirit, the excitement of new beginnings is everywhere. Okay, and finally Pelora, sworn to the earth, who says, "Oh, sorry, I didn't realise you were speaking to me. I get lost in my thoughts sometimes. It feels the more you've got to think about, the easier it is to get lost. It's kind of like being locked in a room filled with boxes, isn't it? You know that there's something that you're looking for, and you know it's there somewhere, but then it's kind of dusty and disorganised, and it's so easy to get distracted." Oh, I wouldn't know anything about getting distracted. Because you might find something else interesting or an old memory, while you were looking for an entirely different thing. It's just so easy. Sorry guys, by the way, if you keep hearing a pencil hit the desk, it's because I'm kind of spinning it in my fingers this entire episode. While you were looking for an entirely different thing. It's just so easy to get stuck. Sorry, what were you talking about again? I was talking about pencils. Don't worry, I got just as distracted as you did. So yeah, that's those guys. Those really are the ones that stick out in my mind as interesting NPCs to speak to here at Embark Beach. We might find one or two other oddballs about. It's a cool little outpost though, isn't it? What was the last camp we haven't been to? Did we already come to this one? What camp was this? Yeah, this was the Canton Travel one. That was the Norn that was down there on the left on that beach. Yeah, the names to a lot of these people are probably references to things. To be honest with you, I don't often get comments of people saying, "Oh, this was a reference to this," but I do always like it when people do have those comments. So hey, if you recognise anything, let me know, because it could be quite cool. We'll come up here. Do I dare speed it up in such a short little episode where we're just walking around one outpost? No, come on. This is all about building up a backlog for while I'm at work. All about building up a backlog. Actually, something very exciting to, I guess I can mention to you guys. You know, I keep talking about doing that summary series where I kind of tell the story of prophecies. That's in full steam ahead. I'm going to be working on that this week, and I'm really excited about it. So hopefully this should be pretty cool. Yeah, this is the Elonian travel one, just so that you guys know what will be coming. Definitely. Elona is the land of the golden sun, but it's I haven't heard that for a while. The land of the golden sun, but it's the land of shadow of a great evil. A land that needs a hero like you, if you're up to the task. Well, we already did that, didn't we, Matt? So no, we're fine. This guy here, Ajek. I like how the people at the respective camps have got names that are similar to what you'd expect those in that region to have. So he says, "Are you on your way to Elona? I came from there recently. I couldn't take the insects anymore. Even the termites are big enough to bite your head off." Yeah, well, I think we're pretty familiar with that. That's the last camp, really, guys. And then you kind of just circle around, and these are the consumable people just over here on the left. So I think it's a big enough outpost. It's a cool outpost. I very much like it. And yeah, pretty much. Why didn't I come here in the PvP series? Did I come here in the PvP? I better not have come here in the PvP series, and I've just forgotten. I'm pretty sure I didn't come here in the PvP series. Right, anyway, so yeah, there you go, guys. Yeah, so that's this episode. I guess, I don't know, as I said, I don't know when this is going to be going up. I hope you guys enjoyed it, though. I kind of feel pretty good now. We're kind of a bit more complete. And yeah, thanks very much for watching, and I guess I will see you next time. Let's do a /wave. The episode I filmed today, I accidentally hit the Windows key, and we never waved properly, so how about we do 2? There we go. See you later, guys.